Hello, and thank you guys for joining. As I stated, we're going to be going over the badge reel. We're going to do some an attachment that goes with it. We're going to look at also doing actual badge reel holders for those that go out and do vending events. If you do lives, you want to display your badge reels, we're going to go over that. And we'll go over the hanging part that hangs off the badge reel. I had posted the link in the chat. I'll post it again. This is the badge reel that I will be using for the purpose of this class. And it's the one that I actually have in hand to be using. But if you by chance just have the one where it's just the badge reel and the reel that hangs down without the little DIY kit piece, that is totally fine. You can use that. It doesn't change anything. I just wanted to throw something extra into here by showing you guys how you can make some little fancy things to go right here on your little DIY piece to make it a little cuter, a little spiffy. So we'll get into it. And for me, moving forward, for probably about the next month, I'm going to be going over mainly back to school stuff. So stuff that incorporates the teacher, the student, bus drivers, all that type stuff. So anything back to school will pretty much be what my going is for. So I'm just going to go in here and look. You guys can bring up Creative Fabrica. You can bring up Google, find you something that you want to do as your theme for your badge reel. We're doing the first part right now is going to be us making, I call it the attachment. So it's what goes on the front plate right here. So that's what we're going to be working on first. So I'm over here in Creative Fabrica. And I just always come here for inspirations. You can come here, you can go to Etsy, you can go on YouTube, you can look in other groups. It's endless of where you can go to find information on what you want. For me, I just always go play around, look around, see what pops to my eye. I did find something. I hate going over the same thing over again because I did this previously. Yes, you can look for SVGs, or if you look for PNGs, I'll show you the PNG method as well in a minute. So either or, if you can't find it in SVG, it can be PNG. And even with PNG, say for instance, you went to Google, you could just look in here. I don't know why I just did teacher, but you could look in here and find stuff. And these could be your inspirations as well. Grabbing something out of here and then taking it over. We're going to be moving over to Silhouette Studio next. So it could be you going from here, just taking this, downloading it, and then moving it over to Silhouette to actually copy it. I'm just looking in here, see if I get any inspiration. But I think I want to use, so when I said I didn't want to go back on something, so I did these designs previously where I had used the pencil bow. So I think that's what I'm about to go down because then it'll incorporate what I'm trying to do next. Or it cannot be done through Cricut, Kim, because you cannot save SVGs to use outside of Cricut. Because once we do this, we're going to go into Silhouette. And once in Silhouette, you have to be able to download SVGs. And two, the only way to do that is if you have the business edition. If you don't have the business edition, swingdesign.com has the cheapest plan for you to get it, which is $39.99. So if you're looking at trying to get business edition, Swing Design is your best option. So I'm gonna go with this because I got an idea. So I just went with line, notebook, paper, SVG. If anyone want to follow along and do the exact same design as I'm doing, or you could just use this and go off of this to make your own design. But this is where I'm starting off at. So lined notebook paper, SVG. And we're going into Silhouette Studio, our first place that we'll be stopping at. And sometimes when you download stuff from over here, it gives you SVGs, PNGs, the EPS, the JPEG. So you have different options to use when you download most things from Creative Fabrica. You got a question for me, LaShonda?
Oh, no,
So I always go merge when I'm on a blank page just to get started. And here we go. We got our line sheet of paper. You always want to highlight everything because as you see the lines, they're separate and you don't want to lose anything. And I'm going to use this for inspiration, but I'm going to actually start it over because these lines are pretty thin to my eyes and I don't want to have any problems with it. So this is me using it as inspiration and making my own. See a question. So it's required that we go through. No, it's not required. You can go through whatever program you like to use, whatever your program of choice is. Um, Shonda, it does not have to be Silhouette Studio. You can use, some have learned how to do it in Inkscape. A lot of your laser software, you can use it. So Lightburn, you have Illustrator that you can use as well. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. But if you don't have a program and you have not learned to design yet, for me, Silhouette Studio was the easiest because I already knew it coming from the craft side of the world. So I just went back to it and freshen up some skills and I was ready to rock and roll. So it's whatever you feel is the best for you, what's easiest, I would say. If y'all look, y'all see that line, it didn't come through good. But we want to have a thick line because when you're printing 3D, we know if something's thin and you don't have the right size nozzle, it is possible that you won't get what you need. Yes, do the trace feature. And I'm gonna make this black so I can see what's going on. All I'm gonna do is duplicate it. And I'm making my lines on the sheet. And I actually don't need that many because we don't need this to be too large. because as you know, we're doing it as the badge reel attachment on the front. And that's how you can make your own lined paper. Of course, the paper would be white on the back, but I had to make it black so that I can see what's going on. But that's our paper. So now this would be totally up to you what you would want to put on it. I'm going to put a teacher's name. I'm just going through and bringing my lines out. I didn't have to, but that will make it. We're doing a badge real D. Oh, I missed the message. Yes, Amy. So say for instance you had went to Google and say for instance this was your image that you used. It's not a good one because it has stuff inside it. Let's go look for something else. Hold on. Or even better yet, if this was it, you just right click on it, save the image. I'm gonna just put it in my downloads folder so I can easily get to it. Save. Oh, okay, you traced it already. Perfect. So I'm back here and I'm gonna zoom out just so I can see. I made it. Yeah, that's a good size for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and group mine all together. And then I have a script font that I like to use, which is Signature Demo. I got this off of defont.com and it looks good. It came in good, so I'll go ahead and weld it together. And then once you weld it, you have some that don't attach to the rest. And like right here, I would take this and just inch it over a little to put it together and then group it. And now we can color it just so we can see what we're doing. The font was Signature, so TRA at the end. So instead of signature, it's Signature, and I got it from the font. All right, so boom. So this is what we'll be doing as far as our piece that's going to go, because remember, we're working just on what's going to go on the front right there for right now. I can't really say the average time, Amy. It just depends on what all you put in your design. Of course, this is going to be colors, so it's going to take some time for it to switch between the colors. And we got 4 colors, so 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So if you just got one AMS, you would be able to print this no problem. So let's get ready to save our stuff. I always tell people when I'm saving, I always make a folder that's easy for me to get to. I don't have my hard drive in, so I'll just make this here. Oh no, wait, let me grab my hard drive because I'm gonna. All right, so we got our folder. So now we just go save our pieces. So Miss White will be separate. We'll go ahead and ungroup this. Our black will be by itself. And then I'll take this. I'm gonna go ahead and make the lines. So with this selected, you highlight, duplicate it. So you'll have another copy. Nope, I don't like how they did it. So we'll do it over here and we'll do it in Tinkercad once we get over there. But we'll group all this together. And then we got our pink. So now you have to go through and select each thing so that you can save it. The biggest thing is ensuring that you click the drop down and do SVG. You have to save it as a SVG in order to go over to Tinkercad to open it up. We haven't done any thickness or anything. We haven't done any size. I do all of that over in Tinkercad. Over here, I do a guesstimate, but once I get into Tinkercad, I do all my sizing. And I'm gonna show y'all too another
Hello.
option for the name. Yes, and I'll show y'all another option for the name once we go into Bamboo, so you can see if you were to want to make something personalized so that it can be changed each time you go in and do it. I'll show you guys how to do that in Bamboo as well. So remind me to do that. Yes, Lavita.
Hi. Okay. Question. So when you're designing the SVG first, do you scale large so you can go down or it doesn't matter?
It does not matter
Okay.
because it's a SVG. So I have all my pieces saved. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Once I do that, most times I go back in and I save everything so that in case something goes wrong, if I have some issue, I can go back to this file versus just having an SVG. And I save it as the silhouette file.
Swan, you have a question in the
I'm
chat.
reading it. Amy, you got to save each individual piece if it's something that's different colors. So your different colors, you want to save them individually. And two, it matters if they're going to be on the same level. It's like if I was saving this because it's black and this because it's black, it wouldn't work because this is going to be the first layer. This is going to go on top of it. I have never done anything in Canva when it comes to SVGs. I do know it's an option over there, but I have not ever played around with it. Yep, the blue lines are all together. Oh yeah, the business edition is, I'm not going to say the best way and the only way, but this is what I found to be the best when I was doing designing. But again, Canva does have the SVG. I just can't answer for sure and say yes, it does because I have not personally used it. But if someone else in the chat has any experience with it, please answer for. So we're here in Tinkercad. When I come here, the first thing I do is I name my file so that when I do go to export it, I'll have a name that I understand. So Tiffany says she do hers in Canva. So yeah, it's definitely an option. I knew you could save SVGs. I just had never done it over there to be able to tell you yay or nay. But yet we have someone that has. So yep, you can head over there and do it. So this is our back piece that I'm gonna be making black. I play around with my quality. 18 is probably the most that I go on it. I tend to not go all the way up. So I just keep it at a number down in between like 17 through 20. And now you could actually do your dimensions if you wanted to, but I like to bring all my stuff in first and then play around with it to see what works for me. And I want to make sure that I'm on metric so that I get millimeters. And I did a step and I didn't tell you guys what I did. So a minute ago, I went and grabbed this and I put it here. Your work plane is the level that you're working on. So if I just wanted to be working flat down on the work plane, I would keep it down there. But the next level, I want to go up to be on top of here. So I put that there, hit the letter D. Now this is technically on top of the black. And you see it like that. And I'll go ahead and draw these down so it doesn't look so funky. We'll go with 2 for now. And then our next thing, we need to go and get our blue stripe, our blue line. I did the wrong blue line. Oh no, that was the blue. I need the pink line. I'm sorry. Yes, Shantae. If you have an AMS that is at least 4 colors, this we're making it only to be for a color. So yes, you would be able to print that. And whenever you're moving something, say for instance, like what I was just doing, and I'm trying to get it at a right spot. If you look right here and you see your snap grid on, snap grid is what the, so right now it's 1 millimeter. When you're moving this item, it's moving by 1 millimeter every time. So if you turn this off, you'll be able to freely move your item. No, we're not using any glue for this one. And actually, what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and make this white because that's what the color this will end up being. So we have this at 2. This one is pretty tall, so we'll drop this down. We'll leave our bottom. We'll do that at a 2 as well. So now we got to grab our work plane again. I have not sized the rectangle yet. I'm gonna do that here in a minute. So now we have these two here. Let me see if I can vary it. And I'll show you what I mean by vary it. So it's 2 in thickness. So I take it down. It's moving the wrong thing. Make sure I'm on the blue. As you drop it down, you get something right here. This is how deep you're going down. So now it's buried in here. I'm going to duplicate it, hold my shift key, select the white, and yep, it did what I didn't want it to do. So we're gonna go back over here and I'm gonna do it over here. So now when we go, our lines will be going in like that. So if you didn't see it, let me go back. So our blue lines were separate. We put them on. And you want to kind of eyeball it and make sure you're lined up. I took it, I highlighted both. I went up here to object, modify, and I subtracted from it. So now you have a whole bunch of lines, spaces, and all that. You just want to go in, highlight, and group everything together. So now it'll be one object when you move it. Yep, this will be uploaded to the YouTubes respectively. And I just had to go back and do that because doing it over there wasn't going to take because it's more than one line. All right, so we're here now. Let me go back. What you mean by how I did the line fill? Like how I actually made a line? So I just went here, grabbed the rectangle, colored it, and that's your line. There was lines over here on the original note paper, but they were going to be too thin. So I just went and made my own. So all it is just a square that I made into a rectangle to give it some thickness. And we're back here. So now I can use my back, and it didn't save right. So whenever it's doing something, like you see that box there, you always want to wait and let it finish thinking about what it's doing. Because sometimes you could interrupt it and mess it up. And I don't, oh, okay, there we go. I was about to say, I don't like how these came in, but I see it now. So again, this, I drop it down to the 2. And I'll go ahead and change the color. We can do white now because we're over on this blue background. So now we have to go get those blue lines again. Make the lines blue. Let me choose one that's better to see. Yep, there we go. Change our quality up. I didn't do the quality on the white. And then now you'll have to zoom in so you'll see what you're working with. And I'm just using the arrow on my keyboard to arrow over. All right, so we got our lines. Now we need to put our other line back down. It's still at a 2, but y'all see it's floating. So this is one thing that you have to pay attention to when you're doing 3D things. When you're up like this, it might appear that it's right, but if you look to the side, that's when you can start seeing where your objects are at. So always pan around so you can see where you're working from. So take your work plane, put it right on here. With the item selected, hit the D. And now again, we zoom in to get it where we want to. And I'm gonna leave this one raised because it's gonna be raised at the same path or at the same height as the name is gonna be on here. And I'm gonna give that a 1.2. So now we have our paper with our pink line. Now we need to go get our name. And again, I told you guys, I'm gonna show you 2 ways to do the name. And the other one will be over in Bamboo, but I'll show you this way because just say, for instance, you were making one for someone. Nope, you put the work plane down and make sure it's attached. That was when I grabbed this piece and put it there. That's the work plane. So if you sit it on top, it's going to be attached every time. Turn our quality up. And then I'm gonna make this a 2 because I want this to sit raised a little. And then hit the D so it'll come up. As y'all can see, it was still down. And again, everything is just eyeballing, seeing where you want it at. And that's where I want it. So I can zoom back out. And now we have the first part of it. Now I would highlight everything because it's in place, is where you want it to be. And I will bundle group it because now I'm gonna start playing around with my dimensions, excuse me, my dimensions on it. So what you want to do is you want to take whatever badge rail holder that you use, and I'll go to the thing to give you, to just show you. You want to measure this because we're going to end up making a hole in our object, and you need to know what this from here to here is so that you can make it. So I have my caliper right here in front of me. I draw it out. I'm at a 31.8. So a 31.8 for what mine is across. So it's 1.5 inches. I'm at 1.25. Yep, is what it is. This say 1.26. That's why I always tell people it's important for you to pull your caliper out to get your own dimensions. Because sometimes this can be a little off and it'll actually mess you up when you're trying to make your object. And then you print it and it doesn't work. So I'm going with a 1.25 or a 31. What did I say? 31.8. Yep, 31.8. So you have, it's 31.8. So you have to make it a little bit larger so this will seep inside of it. I never make it exactly what it is, just so I have a little wiggle room. So I'll set it at a 32. And then as far as our thickness, how far in we want to send it, I'm gonna go with a 2, and then I'm gonna show you what that does for us, because we're gonna have to change this over here. So I'll make this a 3 because we got to sink it in 2. So we'll go a 3. So this is our circle. So with 32, you need to make this at least 32. So I'll bring this up 50. And I'll probably make this, let's see what 45 look like for us. 45 doesn't look bad. So yep, I would draw that up 45. And the reason is this has to go behind it. So you could make it exactly what this is and give it a little buffer around. But for me, I like to put mine on top of it. So there we go. So now I'll ungroup this because like I say, we need to make our bottom, which is this. So what we're going to end up doing is this is going to be on the bottom, and we're going to make a hole on the bottom of here so that the face of this, we will be able to put it into here. And I'll show you a better illustration of it as soon as we get to that part. So here we go. This, we got to draw it up a little bit bigger because that is 2 and this is 3. So we're going to go with a 4 here. Bring our work plane and put it down. Put this down. And then these 2 items we want to center. And then if you look here, you have that circle there. So now highlight both, make your hole. You have your hole in your bottom. And now I just brought that up because remember, we raised this up to 4. So we had to raise this up a little bit more so we can get it up on top of here. Now for me, when I'm doing this, most of the times everything is eyeballing for me. So we'll zoom in here and then we'll go get this. So now the blue lines, have to be a 4. And you know what? I should have did that with the hole, but it's fine. So the blue lines is a 2, and we'll bury the blue line. And then the pink line we need to drop down, and the purple we need to drop down. Nope, it's good to go. And that's why I always tell people spin your stuff around, because your aerial view, you sometimes can look like you're hanging over, you're not centered, you're not right. But when you spin it around, you'll get to see what it actually is. So always spin your stuff around. Go all ways, go all the ways to make sure. But my blue is a little off. So we're gonna go mess with the blue a little. All right, so now the blue is right. And again, you can use your arrow keys on your mouse. I mean, your arrow keys on your keyboard. You don't have to always rely on using your mouse. Because sometimes I'm doing stuff and it's better for me to actually arrow up and down using my keyboard versus trying to do the mouse, because you'll get a little shaky and you'll shake it off of where you actually need it to be centered at. So here we go. We have our first piece that has our hole in the bottom. And we'll go ahead and I always highlight everything. You can go back up here and bundle your stuff back together. That's a personal preference if you do or if you don't. And then hit export, exporting as an OBJ. When I go in here, I always go in and do my coloring. But for the most part, we got the colors we need except for one. So that's the only thing we needed to change. And we're going to end up needing supports because remember, we put that hole in the bottom. If you're on a Windows or Mac computer now, you have to go and unzip your folder. So on a Mac, I just double click it and it's good to go. So for the OBJ and the STL, so when you go here, OBJ, whatever you have done here as far as your color and everything, it will stay. STL, it will not. And when you come over here to Bamboo, you will have to do your coloring. So I always tell people to do the coloring over there so you can actually see it and say if that's what you like, that's how you like it, whatever. And then export OBJ versus doing STL. The hole in the back, I measured the um the badge reel clip that I'm using, and I made it a 32 because I measured a 31 point, well, say 31.6. So now we take it and we go get our item. And here you're having to color, but you're basically just matching colors. So you're not going up here having to color. You're just matching your colors to what we will say is what's in your AMS. So pink is 3, our blue is 2, our purple is 4, and our white is 1. And there we have it. We have our front to our badge reel. And from here, like I say, the supports would be needed. So let's say we didn't have supports enabled and we go to slice our plate. You see, it's telling us that we have something floating, and we do. It's there, that hole that we created. So you want to make and put that support piece in there. Because if not, I'll uncheck it and I'll show you what would be happening. So if it was not, and you was printing, You see all this, there's nothing in this zone right here. So while you're printing all this around, blue, it's going blue. Then you get up to this layer, and now it's trying to put filament in this open spot. It's going to fail because there's nothing there to hold it. So as it's going up, all this that's creating itself in there is going to fail because there was no foundation in that spot. So you have to put supports when you have holes in areas that filament is going to end up going on top of it. There's no way for it to put itself there. So there we go. Let me bring it up. And as you can see, this font is not good because you see it breaks off my R. So one thing you could do is you could go back over here. We could take it. We could make an offset. And make it a little thicker. So this would be one option that we have. So now we have a thicker font here. Or you could just find another font that's thicker. The easiest way, if you like the font that you was using, is to do an offset and you can make it thicker. So that's what I just did. I'll save it up real quick. And that's another thing. When you're going in here and you look, if you see a problem here, don't print it because you're gonna have that problem. Whatever it is, like this one is too thin. Once you print it, that's how it's gonna print. So to save yourself the time and the waste of filament, just go back and fix your error. That's all I'm doing. Oh, and it keeps grabbing the color that I don't want. Okay. So now let's go back and get our new purple. What do you mean, why is it a hole? Are you talking about the hole on the bottom?
Yes.
So that you can put your badge reel inside it.
Oh, okay, okay, no,
Yeah,
okay.
you'll be able to put it in the, you'll be able to stick the badge reel on the back side of there.
Okay, okay, that's new. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I did, I want to say it was last year. Yeah, last year. I actually made the, I don't know if y'all seen them or not, but I made the badge reel interchangeables. Some people are still using it. A lot of people don't use it anymore. So that's why I didn't go with it for class today. But that was one thing that was a big hit at one point where you could take this part of the badge reel and attach um, a, a thing to it. That way, when if you have customers that buy a lot of badge reels for you instead of having to sell them with the badge reel, all you would sell them is the front part of it. So basically, they would be ordering just this front part and they would then attach it to what they already have at home, which is the badge reel. But some people still using it. A lot of people went away from it. So that's why I didn't show it today. So now we have our new Miss White on here. And again, I always say, make sure you eyeball everything. Make sure everything is down where it's supposed to be. Now I have everything highlighted. I'll bundle and export OBJ. Go to your folder, just double click it to unzip it. And if you don't do this, all it would do is add on more colors to your list. So if you by chance forget to do this part or don't know how to do this part and can't remember, if you just leave the colors is, it'll just add all those into your numbers. So that's the only thing of doing the matching. The matching just eliminates you from having the extra colors there. And now we have it again. We slice our plate. I don't know why I keep clicking. And now we have our letters and everything is there. So that is a way to make it so that all of your letters are printed fine if you're using the 0.4 nozzle. Now you could switch down to a 0.2, and that small intricate one that I had at first would work, but you're going to be looking at least a 2 to 3 hour print because of that. I'll think about that one, Trinia. It's pretty easy to do. And matter of fact, I'll show you in a minute. So yep, 2 seconds. I'll give you the quick run through of how to make one. That's not a problem. So yep, so here's this. Now I did tell y'all that I'm gonna show you how to do it so that you don't have to have a name on it. So say for instance, you was making enough of these that you don't want to have to keep going through Silhouette to do this part. We'll export. Oh, and I hit cancel. So your option to make it so that it can be personalized, you take it, go right here to the text. You have your text. Let's see if my text made it over here. The one I like to use. So there we go. We got it right there. And then you can play with it as far as size. I don't do my sizing over here, like bringing it up or anything. I click out of it. I go to my objects tab, and then I play with sizing from here. So then you could make it whatever size you want that way. So now you have a name here. So, okay, we're working on Miss Smith right now. We're getting her knocked out because we got an order for her. Well, once you finish her, all you have to do is go right down here to your text, take her off, and add your next person in. So now you have made you an editable file that you can go in and change, and then you just go in here and change your color to what you want it to be. It's Signature from thefont.com. So here it go. Look that up, Signature from thefont.com. So there we go. We have our front one. And again, we'll slice. We got our supports on. When you look back there, there it go. And that will be our front piece. And it still look bad. So I definitely would not use this Signature for something this small. Now I use it on larger things and it looks good. But because this is such a small item, we're only doing a 50 by 45. It's making it a little messed up because too, you see it's thin lines right here. So moving forward, I wouldn't use this on this object. I would go find another signature one. I'm just gonna look. I don't know that I have a thicker one over here. Where all your fonts that you have on your computer should make it over, but I have not put all my fonts on this laptop yet. But yeah, so that's all you have to do. Play around with your fonts. Like I say, when you go in here and you slice it, if you see that something is gone from there, if you see once you slice it that something is broken or missing, you definitely don't want to print it. Nope, I didn't mold it to the badge. When you add the name, when you do it, here in Bamboo, as long as you're on the plate, so that's why I left from global and came over here to objects. Once you're on it, this is the actual object, and I added text to the object, it will put it right on top. So it'll put it right at the topmost layer of where it can go. You can embed it in. So say for instance, it's a 2 thickness. You see 2 thickness there. I could tell it to drop down. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Let's not use that one. So I could tell it drop down 1. So you see it went down. So it's within the white. I wouldn't do that because that is causing you now to increase your print time, because now it's going to have to go from the white, the blue, and to the purple. So I leave mine on top. Right there is going to put it immediately on the topmost surface of where you laid it to go. So any questions about the frontmost piece? Because we finished this, we're going to now move on to doing our accessories. I'll go back to the image. Doing our accessories to go on. Oh, I hate this. To go on the actual stick part. So right here, we're going to go over how to put some accessories on there. So if you have any questions for this first part, you can go ahead and ask. All right, so for our second part, like I said, keeping with our, you could do a picture. What I would say though with doing a picture is understanding that a picture could be too fine. So you're making it to such a small area. You could use image to keychain. That is an option within Maker World. So I'll show you real quick, or you'll be going. So you could bring your object, go Maker Lab. And go image to keychain and upload it that way. But like I said, with it being so small, you saw how we had the issue with the text disappearing. With doing an image, sometimes it can get a little funky and your image don't come through all the way because it's gonna be, you're doing a 50 by 45. But definitely play around with it. Take your image, put it in here, image to keychain, and see what it gives you. So now we'll move on to doing our little accessory part. I'm gonna go get a pencil for this one. Oh, well, here we go. So we have a pencil here. I want to line my, on here, I want to put a pencil up here. So that's why I said I'm going to get me a pencil. You can get whatever you want. So I'll download. So SVG. And I grabbed the right one the first time. Okay. So now doing the pencil, we got to keep bear in mind we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors here. So if you can only print up to 4 colors, you're gonna have to do something to this, and I'll show you a little closer what I mean. So you only have an option to do 4 colors. Something in here is gonna have to be changed so that you can get down to the 4. I got this one right here. So I did pencil, but you can do pencil SVG, and then I grabbed this one. That was the pencil SVG. So again, and what you could do, you could just make this one the black as well. It still looks like a pencil, but you got yourself down to 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So if your AMS only can support 4 colors, you have to reduce something so that you can be within your 4 color scheme. And I'm gonna turn this because I want mine to stick off, like be off this way. So now this is where you would get your badge reel thing. Again, I like to measure everything because I hate to print something and then it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, I used somebody else's measurements. I trust somebody else for it. I like to get in here and ensure that I'm doing right. So what we need to do is we need to measure from this clear bulb down to this clear bulb. So we'll know our distance in between here of how much free space we have to use. So I'm measuring, I have a little more than 2¼ So I'm gonna go about, I'm gonna say I have about 2.4 that I can use. Now I'm not planning to use it all, but say for instance, you wanted to leave your pencil upright. If you wanted to leave it standing like this, then you know that you will have to draw yours all the way up to about there. And then I would just skin it over. So right here, you have your pencil if you wanted to use up that whole area that's within here. Because this does not move. When you draw the badge reel out, it draws out from right up here. This length stays static. So you're not moving that at all. So I got it at a 2.315 and I'll actually leave it there. So this is what we'll work off of. And what I would do, I would draw an offset. I do an offset on a lot of things because what happens is once we take this over to Tinkercad and build it up, if you keep it like this, you'll be drawing up those colors in all the layers. So I always just throw myself an offset, very thin, apply, and there we go. We got an offset for it. I do an offset pretty much on everything, just so I have a bottom layer that I can color and make that my base. And I'm gonna make it. If you only have 4 colors, you can make this the white because this is gonna be below that, and I'll show you. And I'll show you exactly what to do when you get over to your bamboo so you can make this work. All right, let's set up so we can save our items. Again, everything has to be saved as an SVG. Now, to simplify this, you could take this black, if you were making these two the same, this is your color scheme, you could take these two and group them together and save them because they're the same color and they're going on at the same level. So file, save selection, save the hard drive. and name it our black. This is the one time it will work because it's going on the same level. Let's save our 10. Do our yellow. Nope, I did the whole thing. I know I hate this color, but I'll show you. I did the entire thing. I highlighted everything and did the offset, but I made it very small. My offset was only at a 0.010, so very small, very thin. I got the yellow, tan, the black, need the pink. You're welcome. We got our 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I got all our 5 pieces saved. So now we'll head over to Tinkercad so we can build this up and get it ready for us to take into Bambu. I told y'all I like to name my stuff so I know when I'm writing here, I could just breeze through and see what my things are. Like just having to click in and try to figure it out. So I do really good at naming my stuff. So too, when I save it, it's easy to find. So again, I always work from the back up. Go ahead and do our quality. Color it. This is going to be white. Make sure we're on metric and we're not. I like millimeters. And we could turn our snap grid off while we're at it. So we'll pause right here. And I say pause right here because if you're making this along with me, this is where we want to go ahead and start doing our thickness for our layers. So we go back to our item. It says this bar is a thickness of 2 mil. Again, I tell you measure everything to verify. Mine is measuring in at a 1.7. So if I made my whole 2, we'll be good. So we'll go with their 2 because you always want what's going around it to be larger than what is going through it. So mine is measuring at a 1.7. So the 2 mil will be good for me. So for this, you want to make this at least a 2.5 thickness because remember, we're going to shoot a hole through here that is 2 millimeters. So going with a 2.5 thickness will be good on our hole. So we have our bottom layer. Let's go put our other pieces. And it doesn't matter which order you bring it in. And it came in as the pink. I'm very surprised. So here is where, again, it's up to you, is your preference. Most times when I put something on top, I go for a 2 mil thickness at a minimum. So 2 mil is what I'm going to go with for these. Hit my D so I can bring it up to this level. And then I'll just be going in here to eyeball it. And we're good there. So real quick, real easy. Now let's do our next thing, which will be the black. So we'll be grabbing the black, and remember that was 2 pieces in one. So black, highlight it. We like to do our coloring and everything now, so we don't have to worry about it later. Change our thickness, sticking to the 2, because remember the pink is 2. And then bring it up with hitting the letter D on your keyboard. And again, you always want to pan around to see where you're at. And as you see, I have that gap here, which is causing that to lean over. And what you could do, if you felt like your pink was on where you wanted it to be, use your arrows to arrow over. And then two, you could highlight these two things and get them lined up right on the edge. That's another option. So now we know the pink and the black are lined up on this edge right here. And if we pan around, our tip is good as well. So let's go get our other color. We need this to be yellow. Change our thickness. Change our quality, and then do our thickness and raise it up. And we see we got a little. And again, we can take it, highlight the three different colors, leaving out the white. Don't highlight the white because we don't want to align that with it. And then just align to the left. Now everything is in sync again. Now let's go get our last and final color, which is the lead, the tan. And we'll have to color this one for sure too. Sometimes your colors will be a little funky. It's not going to be exact, but at least you get the picture of what it is. And we'll make that a 2. Hit the letter D to bring it up. And then slap it right in there. And dang, I did a good job that time. So now again, we got the tan, the yellow, the black, the pink. Kind of stand it up right. Oh, I didn't select them. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. So you have to hit shift while you're doing it. So to select them all. And then do your line and get it here. Now let's group these together because we got these aligned and we don't want them coming out of place. So all this is one right now. And we can actually leave that off to the side while we work. So now what we want to do is we want to make a hole in here so that we will be able to attach this onto our pole. So we go over here, get us a cylinder hole. Our number was 2. Now our thickness, what's going to matter is how long this is. But first, we want to go ahead and do these first. So hold on one second. Let's put these back together because we need to get what we said was our length in between the two because we need to make that. You never want to make your hole first and then go trying to do your measurements on your length and your width. Once the hole is in there, you don't want to make any more changes to your length and your width. Yep, the replay will be on our YouTubes respectfully. So 3D Trendsetters and Designs by Swann. So as I said, we have about a 2.4, and I actually want to put some of my little beads in there. So I'm gonna round it off to 2 inches. So back over here, let's change it to imperial so that we can get inches. Highlight all of it. And we can leave the width at the 0.8. If you wanted to, you could draw it out to 1. The width does not matter. We just have to make sure our height is good. So now with this, We need to draw that up some more because that will have to go into the white. So now if everything is good, if you like what your attachment piece is as far as your height and your width, now you're able to go ahead and throw your hole in. Putting the hole should be your last thing that you're doing. Because again, if you go making any changes, you're going to mess up your hole size. So you always got to come to the side so that you can lay this down. Put it here. And now let me put my work plane down. And now that is down to the bed. And then as you see, it's still not the right size. Okay, so now we're good on size. So now we're gonna take this and just put it right here. What I like to do is I highlight that and I highlight my base and then I do my aligning. I align center here and then I align center from top to bottom so that it's right in the center from left to right, top to bottom on that piece. And now make your hole. I didn't click on something extra. Hold on. How did I lose my white? I done lost the whole white. Did y'all see that weirdness that just happened? The whole white just went bye-bye. Not a problem. We'll get back. Okay, I recovered. You know what? Let me make sure this is at the right level. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there just now, but let's pray this don't happen again. So work plane all the way down. We're gonna do the stick and the base of the white, holding my shift, selecting it. I'm doing my alignment. Like I say, I want it in the middle, and then I inch it up here, and I want it in the middle here. I'm gonna move this out the way for now because we don't want that to have a hole in it. Now select both, and there we go. We got our hole now. So that's the hole that we're gonna need to shoot it on here. So it's gonna be on there. And now we highlight both our pieces. And there we go. We have the attachment to go on the badge reel, on the real part. So this will hang right on here. And then I'll show you what it looks like over here. And I'll show you too, because we have technically 5 colors going on now. Because remember 1, 2, 3, and that's the 4, but our bottom is going to be 5. No, this not the same as doing the pins. No, there's something totally different. So we'll go ahead and highlight this. We'll export OBJ. And let's go over here and do our coloring system. And I'm going to show you guys how, if you have 5 colors, what you could do to make this work, because all 5 colors are not on the same level. So we got our pencil and it wants us to repair. I'm not going to repair because I know what's wrong. If you look right there, that's our problem area. I'm not going to go repair it. I'll do it later, but that's what the issue is right in here where we have that at. But I'm going to show you how you can make this work because you have 5 colors here. So you go ahead, slice your plate. That G code arrow is just telling you that your prime tower is over the boundaries. So now we're here and we got 5 colors. How you can make this work is you go down and you find out you have to see where that white stops at. So this is where the colors pick up at. So this is the last white layer. This is the first color layer. I will put my pause here and then slice it again. So when it comes to this layer, it's gonna stop. I will take out my white and put in a color. So say for instance, you got started and you just put these 4 colors in. So your white, your yellow, your pink, your tan. The black was left out. When you get ready to do this pause, you're gonna be removing your white and put the black in that spot. So now you will be able to print all those colors. So the white will now be your black. You don't have to do anything in here or on your AMS for that. All you're doing is swapping out the 2 colors. So now when you go back and hit resume printing, instead of it being white, it will be black. So this is how we do it when we say create a pause layer to switch out your colors. This is how you can switch it out to be able to print 5 colors on a 4-color AMS. Yes, you can use that kind of reel. The only difference is you won't be able to use this type, you won't be able to put this attachment on it. So I was just showing them if they have the DIY kits for the badge reel, a simple way that they can make these little attachments that can go on to this part. Because a lot of people have been posting about these recently. So these are like the bling pins. So instead of just leaving this blank or just putting the little beads on here, now you can make your little 3D prints that can go on here as well. So the regular badge reel, yes, you can definitely use that. So there we go. That is our attachment piece. You have your hole. This right here is the hole. And it didn't tell us to use supports. Do I have support still enabled? Yep. Supports is still enabled. Let's see if it didn't put none on the build plate though, because the hole is so small that is no room for it. And 2, like I say, when you put this here, it will put it in there if it needed. It did not do it because this hole is so small. But this is how you do it. So if how you guys are seeing people doing the designer little pieces to go on here, this is how you create it with your whole 2 mil. If you're using the same DIY kit that I have here, you're doing the 2 mil and it'll be able to slide right on your bar. What was the size of the hole? 2 mil, 2 millimeter. I'm sorry, I say 2 mil. 2 millimeter is the whole size. Any other questions about the attachment piece before we move forward? I'm gonna go back and look at the badge reel, interchangeable that someone asked about. I'm gonna go back to that one. So for your thickness, with me saying that the hole is 2 mil, and again, you need to measure yours so that you can ensure that it's going to work. Because on the website, it has this middle piece as being 2 mil. If it was actually 2 mil, I wouldn't be able to put that through the hole. But my pole is measuring 1.7. So make sure you measure yours to ensure that it's not 2, because if it's 2, you need to make it a little bigger so that this can go into your hole. And then I made the white piece, it has to be above 2 for the hole to get in there. So I made it 2.5. All right, so we covered that. Let me go to my interchangeable since y'all asked. I will show you what I did with it. It's been a while, so it's deep down in here. All right, so here we go. So for the interchangeable, this is what it looks like. So you have one side that does not have the magnet in it, and then you have another side that has the magnet in it. And I wish I had one so that I could show you guys, but I do not have one, I don't think. Let me, no, the hole is 2 millimeters. You could make it 2.5 because the larger the better to ensure that the stick part of the badge reel will go down in it, but you don't need it that large. And I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm gonna find a video so I can show you guys how the attachment pieces work. So 1 second. So that is it all together. So you take it apart, you have the front piece, you got the back piece. And then it locks into each other. Y'all don't mind no nails. That's some working nails. But when you put them in, you got to make sure you do the attaching sides on the outside so that it attaches, because otherwise it'll repel. So you got to make sure you put the two sides of the magnet that's supposed to go together on the same side. Otherwise it'll repel from each part. So there we have it. That is the interchangeable badge reel. And I'll show you. This is it together. So these two pieces is what I made, and it glues onto this. So this glues onto here, this glues onto there, and then these two attaches to one another. So that's how these two come together. And these are both little magnets. And then I designed this one as well. So you can put these in here to make when you're making your badge reel. So we'll go over this. And I'll drop the link for the magnets in a minute. So what I did was this is the magnet. So I took it and I made the centerpiece here. So this is 8.3. So I measured my magnets with my caliper and I made it a 8.3 with a thickness of 3.10. And I made the hole so that now the magnet can go into here. So again, 8.3 with a thickness of 3.1. These little pieces, I made one, a 3.0. So what you have to do is you have to make one size, and then you have to make this size larger because this is going to end up sticking into this on the opposite ends. So that's where you see this piece come in at. So this one is a 3.3 and this one is a 3. So the whole a 3.3 and the piece that's sticking in is a 3. So this is this piece, this was this to make the hole. And then I made the actual cylinder, the disc part, a 31. And I did a 31 because if you measure on your badge reel, if you measure this part of your badge reel, mine came in at a 31. You want this to either be flush with it or it can overlap, but you don't want it to be smaller. So that's why I made it a 31. So you got a 31 disc with a thickness of 4.6. Oh yeah, because that got that in it. So as a 4.6, and then you just make your holes. One is gonna have this, and one is gonna have this. So this go there, make the hole. This go there to make the nub, and then both of them will have the hole in for the magnet. And I said I'll show you the magnet that I use. One second, let me find it so I can show y'all. Does anyone have any questions about making the interchangeable?
I kind of have a question. You didn't really call it a ruler. So are you using something to look different to give you more of a precise measurement?
Yep, you need a caliper.
Yeah.
Yep, because you're measuring in millimeters. You need a caliper in order to do that. You could do a ruler like inches, like the last thing that I was doing to measure the length of the bar, but when it comes to like the circumference and everything for measuring from here to there, a ruler is not as precise as your caliper. Are you talking about my slicer program, Felicia? You're talking about this? It's bamboo. I have bamboo furnish, yep, so it's bamboo. But everything leading up to here is the same. The only thing you have a different slicer. But the way you create your file would be the same. Yep, it'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So yep, you'll be able to go back and watch it. So here's the interchangeable. That's how you would make it. And then our last thing we're going to go over is how to make a badge reel holder for those if you want to display it to show the display. So if you want to display your badge reel on something, I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well. Alicia, yes.
Yes, for the interchangeable one, do we do two of the ones that already has holes in it, like
Nope. So
a
this
duplicate?
how you will start it. So you'll have just this. This is how you'll start off, but you'll need two of them
Right. Okay, that's what I
because
was saying.
yep, because one has to go on the other. So then that's when these pieces come into play. The little nut would go on one side, the hole would be on the other side because this, when it flips over to here, it will
Right.
have a nub and a hole, and that's how you put them into
Gotcha.
one another.
Okay. Okay.
Lavita, are you asking about the caliper?
Yes.
And you can get this from what's the place called? Hobby Lobby, all those Michaels and everything, if you have one near you. But these are the calipers. I wouldn't pay this much. I only pay like $5 or $6 for mine. You don't need nothing all this expensive. Here you go. This the one I purchased. I'll go out there, spend 20 some dollars. It's not worth it. $7. And you might can get them cheaper if you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or one of them. I'm just a person. I order everything off Amazon so it could come to the door. I don't use those on Maker World because I don't know if it's 100% spot on as far as measurements and stuff. But this is a digital caliper. The one that you're gonna get off Maker World is just the regular one that has the numbers like a ruler, and you got to kind of guesstimate. I don't like doing it. The digital one, as soon as you put it on, it gives you a digital reading. But that was a good question, Trania. That is on Maker World, but I like the digital one because it's more precise. For this little pencil, 1 hour and 2 minutes. And know what? Let me I wanted to take this off to see. Yep, so it lets me do it without supports. And the 1 hour and 20 minutes because it's gonna change filament 29 times. The caliper is for you to measure everything. Like say for instance, boom, we had to use it just now to get this hole size. So we'll go back here. Let's go back, go back, go back, go back. Yeah, don't be looking at my Amazon. I order everything. Everything. Let me just pull up.
Swan, I had a question.
Yes.
Okay, so those measurements you was showing us about the interchangeable for the magnet, could you go back
Mm-hmm.
over that so I can make sure I have it right?
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
So for the who just asked me that one? Um, Felicia. So you see here, I had told you what we're using is we're using this badge reel and we're gonna put our pencil, it's gonna go in here. So for you using your caliper, if you look at this picture here, it tells us that our thickness of this is 2 mil. I always tell people to verify what you're getting off these diagrams. I have mine in front of me and I measure it and it's a 1.7. So it's a little off. So you always want to use your caliper and measure items so that when you're designing and you're making holes or you're making something to go on top of here, you have your exact measurements and it's no guessing game and you're not relying on someone else to give you measurements. Because as we see, it's off and that will mess up your print and possibly your item won't be able to fit. Yes, you can print face down. I don't print face down because I'm not really into the look that it gives. And two, I like my stuff looking three-dimensional. But again, that's a personal preference on how you like it. And that's where those graphic plates come into play, where you can get the plates that have the special graphics and a special look to it. And they look good, but I'm just not a fan of it yet. That has not built on me yet. What do you mean the middle of the pencil?
So you know where you use the pause, like the arrow on the side to show like the build. I want to see how your supports look or how it's
It's
built.
no supports.
So mine is
It didn't.
go down to the white part.
Mm-hmm.
Is there,
Nope.
is it okay?
So
Maybe I'm just
sometimes your hole can be small enough that you don't need it. Again,
okay.
it's hit or miss because if you need it, and I'll show you, if you need it, when you go here and you go slice plate, it will tell you down here you need supports.
Okay.
Most times I just enable it, and two, I enabled this when I had it here and it didn't put anything there.
Okay. Okay.
So if
Thank you.
I'm guessing it's because it's so small, and that happens sometimes. If it's not a big of a hole, it will still work.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm. Any other questions before we transition to the actual badge reel display?
I had a question about the measurements for the magnets.
Okay.
Um,
You so you saw the magnets that I used. Let me go back to it. So I want to see if it puts any. All right, so these are the magnets that I use. And there we go. So it gives you some dimensions. So it say it's a 0.32 width and height and a 0.12 3 mil thickness. So we'll go verify. Oh yeah, I made mine bigger. Okay. So let me tell you what I did. So I had to make it bigger because remember, why do I keep making it go in? So remember, this has to go in here. So I made it a little larger than what it's supposed to be because you have to have some sticking out when you create the hole. So I wish I had one in front of me. I don't. But when you get it, again, this is where I say that caliper and you are going to be friends. Make sure you measure it. So take your caliper and like where it's saying that it's a diameter of 8 and a height, a thickness of 3 mil, verify that. Take your caliper and measure it. Because when you come over here and you make these holes, you want to make sure that it seats inside here. You don't want it to, you want it to go all the way in. So when I put mine in, it sits flush here, as I showed y'all in the picture. It's flush in here. It's flush. So you want to make sure when you're doing the hole that the hole, this thickness of the hole is enough for the magnet to sit completely down in here. That
okay,
answers you? Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we transition? And here we go. I could just show you guys some of, I went through a whole series of making different, like I say, during nurse and teacher appreciation, I really went in with making this one is a badge reel attachment. So this is what would go on the front of the badge reel as an attachment. As soon as it loads, I can show you guys. So yep, so this is what goes on the front, and then I made it a 2.3 by 2.3. So that is one of those attachments for the badge reel. And then this would stick on to what I previously showed you guys. And then this is a badge reel holder. And you can actually find this file on MakerWorld. I published it to MakerWorld. You can look up scrub top badge reel holder. So this piece is right here, and you can attach the badge reel to it. And then this stands up in the feet so that you can display a badge reel on it. So say for instance, you made a badge reel for the nurses. You could just attach your badge reel here and it's an opening. So the badge reel just sticks right in here. And then this scrub top is standing up in these slots. So the slots is here. And then this sits in here like this. And then this piece is right here. So then if you taking pictures of something, you just attach your DIY badge reel that you've made right here to this, and it's an actual physical product, that's sitting on your little desk or whatever. And you could take your pictures of your badge reel to display your badge reel. So this is a badge reel holder that I previously made. I'm going to show you how to do your own. But I just wanted to show you guys it's endless on what you can make to be able to display your stuff. And like I say, it's on Maker World. I can show y'all real quick. There we go. Boop. Y'all can go get the free file. So yep, so here we go. That's where it go at. So you had your little DIY, and this is actually this is done with the interchangeable. I just didn't put the faceplate on it because they're big on cross posting different things. So I didn't want a design to be here and confuse anyone. So you just attach it there, and all it is that little pocket that I made. You attach it right on there, and you can display your badge reel just like that. So that's a free file that you guys can enjoy. So let's get into us making our own badge reel holder real quick. You're welcome. And we'll call it badge reel display so we're not confusing ourselves. And all this is, all we're using are shapes. So put your square down. Now, one thing that you want to bear in mind when doing the ones that are the DIY ones is you have to leave enough room for it to hang. So when it's hanging, and of course it'll be standing upright like this one is, you have to have enough room here for your whole badge reel to hang. So that's one thing we have to bear in mind when we're designing this type badge reel holder. And I would only make mine maybe to hold like 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because you have this long piece and it's from top to bottom on your badge reel, you're looking at 5 inches. So this has to be 5 inches off the surface of wherever you're sitting this at for you to even see your full display. So I'm gonna show you guys that so you'll have a whole depiction. And now thinking about that, 5 inches, if you're working with a 256 build plate, we really can only do 2 because I'm gonna show you how to stagger them so that you'll be able to see them. But you don't want to put too many on there because it's gonna get too busy. So here we go. We're gonna knock out an 8x8. And I'm just using numbers. There's no trick to this. It's nothing that I have written down. I'm just designing off the cuff right now. So one thing to bear in mind is I like to measure whatever my clip is that's in the back of it just to see the distance that it goes out. Because if it's a tight clip and it doesn't lift up much, you can't make this but so thick. Yes, 8x8. Yep. So I did a 8x8 box. And I'm gonna show you how easy peasy this stuff is just using shapes out of Tinkercad. So I'm measuring mine and I got what I need. I'm gonna go with a 1.8, but I'm gonna just write that down. Don't mind me. I like to have stuff ahead of time while I'm talking. All right, so here we go. Let me go back to millimeters because I am a millimeters girly. I rarely use inches anymore. So we're gonna make this, let's go with a 10 for now. We can always come back in here. And actually, nope, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna go with a 5. We'll go with a 5 thickness. So we made this 8 inches by 8 inches, and we made this a 5 thickness. So this is the start of our board. And we need to know that 5 number because we're gonna make our feet. You see how I made the feet for here? We need that so that we can make our feet. So we got a 5 mil thickness. So now I want to use something like this for my clips to go in. So my clips were 31. So we can bust this up to, let's go with a 34. And y'all will see what I'm working with once I get there. You got to let me brainstorm as I go. So we'll go with a 6. And the reason we're going with a 6, because that's going to go in here. You always want to make what your hole is going to be thicker because we need it to go from the front to the back. So here we go. And you can get funky with it. You can get cute with it. If you wanted to, we could actually go over here to Silhouette Studio. Let's get funky. If you wanted to get funky with it, get to creating some crazy stuff. For me, when I'm in here, I like using round edges. It just looks better to me than doing square edges. And yes, purple is my favorite color, and I'll pick it for everything if I can. So boom, we getting funky. So this your badge reel display. Yes, purple is royalty. We getting funky. Remember I said we designing this up, but we're going real quick. I'm getting the wham bam, thank you, ma'am, of it. Yep, I don't like that. So we're gonna go with it. So when I'm doing offsets, and know what, I'm gonna make this easy just for now. So you could do the offset like that, but for me, I'm gonna do a quick offset. This is my quick down and dirty type offset. Well, not offset, but to give it a backing. Because sometimes I like my stuff to sit out 3D. Like I say, I love the 3D look. All right, so boom. This would be our display name that we can have on our badge reel holder. This is the holder. And then you could take it, you can actually, again, get really funky with it. You could make one. If you didn't want to just do a square rectangle-ish type. Again, you have all these shapes in here that you can use. I'm just lining it up to make sure. So boom, just from there, we went from a regular rectangle to now a five-sided object. So you could play around. You could even do a circle one. It does not have to be the square. It's just with this one, you for sure would need feet on here, on this one, to hold it up. And you just put feet right on these opposite ends, and we'll make it the 8. And that would be, this could be another badge rail holder. And I'm actually gonna go with the oval one so I can show you guys this. But we'll do the shapes over there because, like I say, you got plenty of shapes over there. So let's put our two together. You want to know how to do that too? Gotcha.
Yes.
I got you if you didn't hear me. Yep, I'll show you that, LaShonda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if I'm moving too fast when I'm clicking and stuff on my keyboard, I was once in IT, so quick keys and all that, I do a lot, but I like to try to tell you what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So now I'm just going to say my pieces so I can move this over because I do not like the text that is in Tinkercad. It just does not work for me. And I named these wrong, but I got it. Go ahead, Rashida.
Not trying to get off subject, but as I'm looking at your screen and looking at the different shapes, this is pretty much how you can make some of those stands, right? Or wrong?
Which stands?
The paste stands.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, a
Thank you.
bunch of shapes. And majority of everything originates from a shape.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so boom. So we're ready to go over to Tinkercad. We're gonna make us a display. So like I say, I wanted to do a circle. I'm gonna drop it down to my, well, let me go back to my metric. I'm gonna do it a 5 mil for now, because I'm thinking I need to increase that, but we'll see in a minute. So for this, we'll go get our name that we've developed. This is where I say I named it wrong, but I got a mental note of what goes where. So we'll put the work plane down. We'll lift this up by selecting the D on the keyboard. No particular colors for this. Let's increase our, let's put this down to a 2. And then the next thing will go on top of here, import. And we're just giving a little pizzazz. Because of course, if you're displaying this anywhere, you want to put your business name on there, especially if you're on TikTok, you want to, this could be your watermark for your stuff. So if people are stealing your pictures, at least your picture got your business name in it. All right, so boom. That'll be the start of our display. It's a little off, but there we go. So now we'll start making our holes, and these holes are the what is it called? Is what the badge reel will sit in so that it can hang for display. So again, I had said it was like a 31 point something, so that's why I made it 34. The true thickness of it is a 10 and some change. So I'll go with a 6 because we made this 5. The hole has to be thicker than this for it to go through. So we got it a thickness of a 6. So we're good to go there. This needs to be a hole because we're going to make it into a hole. So then all we've been doing is, let's put our work plane back down. Make sure this is down. And to make it, all you will be doing is staggering these. Oh, I shouldn't have made it the same color. Again, we want to stagger them because if not, when they're hanging, they'll be one on top of the other. You need a class on Tinker. Okay. I watch what y'all say when y'all say y'all want classes. So a class on Tinker. Check. Got it. Because this right here, this is your foundation for the most part. So if you're not understanding this, you will be lost. So, yep. So I definitely can do that for you. Because it's very simple. And you see how I navigate in here. Believe you me, I didn't start out this way. I would get in here and I'd be like, ooh, 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 hold up, ooh, 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 hold up. Yeah, so I started off real crazy here, but over time you learn what each and everything does, what all this means, what you can get from here, and then you're smooth sailing. So yep, I got you on that. So here we go. So now we have our makeshift holes that are going to be for our display. The hole goes all the way through. So now all we do is we don't want to highlight this, so we can actually, well, I'll go and not grab it. So when you're highlighting, if you miss whatever it is that you don't want included, like this, these two things are not there. So you see 5 shapes. So it's the 4 holes in this. And now, boom, you made a display. You can hang your badge reels from here. I'm just giving you guys the down and dirty, the real quick. And then from here, you can make your own personal type design. You can go and create a fabrica. Like I say, this is your hub to getting all the beautiful, cutesy little things. So you can go in here and look for something to make be your circle. I'm just giving you the foundation and you run with it from there. So here we go. We made our holes. So these what we'll clip our badges onto right here. And it's displayed, you know, the little things are hanging. But now we have to make our feet. Easy. This is our feet. So remember, this is a thickness of 5. So I always like to get in. And if you're working on something in Tinkercad and you see how here you don't have much room to play around, highlight your stuff and you can hide them. So the stuff is hidden right now. I'm gonna turn inches on just so I can get my. So we're doing a 5 thickness. We'll go with 1 inch for each way. All right, so we got 1 inch, we got 1 inch feet. We need 2 of them. Well, we'll do the second one later. So we got our 1 inch feet. We'll come here. We'll put this down. That size doesn't matter. So what's going inside is a 5. Oh, I didn't mean to draw that up. I'm still on inches. So our thickness was 5. We're going to make the hole just a little bigger because remember, our original piece has to sit inside this hole. So we'll draw it up to a 5.3. That'll give us a little wiggle room. And now we turn it to the side, turn this 90 degrees, put these together. Now you don't want it to chop completely through. So what I would do is you take your foot, turn it into a hole so you can see what you're working with. Lift this up a little, turn your snap grid off. Make this back into a hole. So now as you can see, it's not completely down. It's not all the way to the top. It's enough space for us to put our thing in. And 2, we want to verify that it's centered from front to back. Okay, it is. We highlight both. We make our hole. We make 2 feet. We bring back our hidden item. We take our display, turn it upright, take our feet, and there we go. Our feet would hold our display. And actually for a circle, you could probably use 1 foot and just make it a little wider and center it right in the middle. And that will hold your display. Or you could do 2 and just stick them right there. But that's how you would make a display. And like I say, this is the foundation just to show you how to make your holes, put it in whatever object you need. And now you would just literally be taking your badge reel, clip it right to here, and it hang down, hang down, hang down. And you have a display to sit on your desk, your table at your event, just taking your pictures. You can use this too when you're taking your pictures to upload to your website, to make your display, well, to make your, if you use Chat GPT, to make your Chat GPT listing, all of that stuff. You could be creative with it. You don't have to always go to Maker World and find something over there to use. You can make your own stuff. And now the last thing was someone asked about um, how do you do the imprint for the RN? Yep, that was my last thing. So boom, for the badge, I'm gonna call that the badge reel. I don't know, the badge reel back piece. I don't know what that thing is called, but the person put it in the chat. the RN thing. So again, I don't like using these because they don't have the round edges. So we'll go to silhouette, and it will literally be this. And I measured a badge last night and boom. Oh yeah, I got it. It's in my phone. So for this, I measured the badge. It's about 3.15. And these are just generic. I'm just giving it some. So that was it long ways. Let me turn it. I mean, that was it that way. So if it's long ways, here we go. This is what we got. So this is our makeshift badge. Um, this is our badge right here. So then what we want to do is we want to make our holder just a little bit larger than this. So we could duplicate. And it has to be larger in order for you to see whatever is at the bottom. So I would draw the sides in a little because the sides is not important. You're wanting to put the stuff on the bottom. So boom, I would draw it up like that. So this is our fake badge. This is the piece that LaShonda put in the chat. So then here we go. I like to use a more boxy font whenever I'm doing anything 3D. So I always use the Arial Black. And you see sometimes when you do this, getting your alignment, it don't always work for you. Sometimes you have to play around with it. All right, so here we go. So you would take your box, and I'm gonna just put it in the center. So you have your box. You want to cut your box out first. So take it here, object, modify, subtract. You have your hole. Take your RN. Remember with 3D and laser, everything has to touch. And there you go. That would be your badge reel back piece. I'm guessing is what I'm gonna call it. But there you go, LaShonda. That's how you would um accomplish that.
Thank
Oh, and
you.
two, you're welcome. And you need to put the piece on the top. So you need to put the piece that would allow you to be able to you know you got to be able to put this hook in here. So then this you would need to measure. I have one right here. Again, pull out my little caliper. It's measuring a 12. I will have to make this at least a 12. And you can't really accomplish this over here in Silhouette, but you can at least set yourself up for it. So I would just make this. This would be our makeshift piece. So then I would take this, let me save it. And you could accomplish it by going here and do it, but I can't get a accurate and precise cutout. So I would bring it over here to Bamboo and do that. I mean, I'll come over here to Tinkercad to do that to ensure that your hole that you're putting in there is 100%. And you don't need this to be thick at all. I would go with a 3 mil. Y'all see how that laid right in there? That normally does not happen. Again, this will be the same. And we could actually burn them off to be the same color. So we could put them together. And then we go get our piece. And this is where I say I have to do it over here so I can ensure that I get a precise size. So I said it was a 12. Well, we didn't need it that thick. So it was a 12 wide. Where the thing at? To make it the work, I went with 12 for here. So I'll go with 13 just to ensure that the piece fits within. But we don't need it to be that tall. And then this will make it a thickness of 4 because we're going to turn this into a hole. So here we go. And there we have it. That's how you make it. Real simple, real easy. Again, it's just a bunch of shapes and putting your letters in. Did you get to see that, LaShonda?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And again, this will be uploaded so you guys will be able to watch this and do it at your own pace and take your time. And then too, you could get fancy with it. Put your heart, make it 4, put it in here, turn it to a hole, and boom, there you go. So you could do a whole lot with this. So y'all have a whole lot of homework and a whole lot of things that you can make. And if you are a paid member on the Patreon, you can start making stuff to sell to your other 3D enthusiasts. I'm not gonna say this stuff is easy because it's not easy. It don't start off easy, but you gradually get there. You're gradually able to do the stuff that you see others do. We all had to crawl before we walk. So if you just take your time, you're not gonna be here Speedy Gonzalez like I just went through this in 2 hours and some change. It's probably gonna take you 2 hours to get through one thing, but take your time. Understand what you're doing. Don't rush it, because when you start rushing it, that's where how y'all get these files that just be all a mess, and you're trying to figure out, but you don't know. So you post it in a group and you send it to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, you bought a bad file." That's how this comes about. So take your time with it. Don't be in a rush that, "Ooh, I gotta immediately start selling." No, start making your files first. Giving the stuff away to your friends, your colleagues, testing it out, understanding what works, your dimensions, your thickness, because thickness is very important. I made this a 4 mil, well, three. I made this a 3 millimeter thickness. You could print this right now in PLA and somebody break it. Or even better, you print it in PLA and they leave it in a car, and guess what? It starts bending and warping. And two, that's another thing you guys have to understand and know the difference in your different filament types. PLA is not going to withstand any heat at all. And I show all the time, I have a video where you can mold your pieces around the can koozie. It was PLA. All you got to do is heat it up a little. So if you leave these things in your car and it's PLA, you can forget about it when you come back out from work. So just understand your filaments, start digging into it. Google, Chat GPT, that can answer a lot of your questions that you have instead of posting them in a group and thinking, oh, it's a stupid question, I'm not going to ask it. Just ask Google, ask Chat GPT. They will forever help you understand these different things, because 3D didn't just come out last year. 3D been out a long time. For heat, you want to be at a minimum of PETG, a minimum. And you have a lot of people out here that won't even print in PLA at all. They start off PETG at a minimum. But just understand that as you go up TPU, ASA and stuff, you have to understand that that stuff can't go through your AMS. It has to go through your external feeder, straight to the extruder. Otherwise, you're going to be buying another AMS very quickly. So definitely do your research. Definitely understand the different types of filaments and how it works for your machine. Did you use TPU or something?
There's an outage and make it right.
Can I ask the
You got a
question?
question for me, Barbara? Uh-huh.
I do. Can you go back over the thing when you were saying about the PLA and the PETG? I
With
understood
regards to,
when you said something about it going through the extruder and through the explain that part when you was talking about.
oh yes, got you. So PETG PLA, you have to do nothing different than just print. Load it into your AMS, print it regular. TPU and higher, it has to go straight to the extruder. So you cannot send that stuff through AMS at all.
Okay. Okay, I understood now. I understand you saying
Yep.
TPU. So I never used
TPU.
TPU.
Yep. TPU, ASA, and who is this in the chat? She tried it. Who is that? Felicia, not to pick on you or anything. Felicia tried it. And TPU is one of them very flexible. You do it for you. It's the main thing to use for phone cases. And two, if you've seen the people that's printing the shoes and stuff out there, TPU is your best.
Okay, yeah.
But you
Okay,
cannot
okay,
send that through your AMS.
okay. So TPU I can't use with my P1S and my A1. Is what they tell me in the store. I think I asked that question in the store before too. When I
You
went to
can.
Micro Center.
You can use it with your P1S. It has to go straight to the extruder. It can't come through your AMS. So where you normally load up your 4 colors to print something, you
Uh-huh.
can't use that gadget. It has to be a direct feed into your AMS. And you can look this up. You have a Bambu printer. You can go on Bambu Wiki. And that's another thing I tell people to get familiarized with. The Bambu Wiki is basically Google and Chat GPT. It has everything up there for you. and it answers all these questions.
Okay. Well, I won't use TPU just yet. I need to get I say familiar, but I need to start keep working on my, the PLA and the PET-G. So
Definitely
I'm
work
gonna,
your way up to that. Yep.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm gonna, when I make these badge reels, I'm gonna get the colors in PET-G because those work better if they leave the badge in the car, right?
Most definitely. Yep. You don't got to worry
Okay.
about a customer contacting you saying, what is this I have now?
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Better safe than sorry.
Yes.
Any other questions in Oh by the Ways? And it don't have to be necessarily related to this because we're done with this now.
I do have another question. So
Yes.
listen to this one. So what if I bought a file and it has 6 colors
Hmm.
and I don't have neither one of my machines has 6 colors. How can I change it and make it the 4 colors so that I can make make the badge reel?
Well, that goes back to what I showed you of how if it's not on the same level, like the pencil, this is 5 colors. But I put a pause in here because it's 4 here and 1 there. So you can achieve it if it's not all on the same level.
So when it pauses, I can it's gonna allow me to add another color in there and everything.
Yep. So what you do is when you do the pause, so it comes to pause layer and it's right here at the end of the white, you unfeed your white from the AMS and then
Hmm.
you drop the black into the white spot.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
you're just
Okay.
tricking the system. And when you go here, that's the other thing I didn't show you guys. Sorry about that. So when you go here to do your color mapping, your black and your white will be in the same spot. So I don't have no machine on right now, but if I was doing this, white will be in slot 1, black will be in slot 1 because those two are swapping out in the middle of the print. So that's how you incorporate this pause in to swap out your colors.
Oh, so I can still okay. So still do my colors that I need because it has a number 5 and a number 6. So still do my colors that I need, and then I'm swiping out number 5 with number 4 and number 6 with number 1.
If it's not on the same layer, like say for instance, this was your object and it was all up here, all of this was 6 colors. You would have to go in here and change the colors. So meaning like what I did earlier, because this was originally 5 colors here. So you would have to go in here and change this. So this is 5. Well, it didn't took the whole thing, but uh, you will have to change one of these. Oh, I see why I did that. So say for instance, let's just add a 6 color on. So now we have 6 colors. And you know you can't print that, especially because we got 5 here on one layer. So
Right.
what I just did is I made this black. So now we have 4 colors. So you could always go into your object and change it to simplify the colors.
So I can go into I'm gonna go back and look at this part. You said go in there and I could change and take one and remove one color and then I could still print it.
Yep. And then too, like the white. I got the white here. I can make it black.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna see which colors that is like. I think one color is like a beige and one color is is like a darker like a light brown color. I'm gonna go in and see and I'm gonna change the colors to to the light brown. That way I can
Or
have
you
the
could
full
change the
color.
colors all together and make it 4 colors that work for you and
Okay.
simplify them to be just the 4.
And just go to this. What you said it's called? Because my screen is small.
It's right here. It's your color painting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Go to my color paint and change my colors.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And make sure you reduce it down to 4 colors over here so you're not confusing yourself
Oh, boy, on the right side. I
on
mean
the
on the
left.
left side.
Yep.
Okay,
Reduce
I
your
see it.
colors down so it's only
Okay,
4.
I got you. I'm gonna
And
try
keep,
it.
okay, yep. And if you have any questions, like I say, I am Shakita in the group, but I go by Swann, but my name is Shakita in the group.
Okay, all right.
And Kiki, yes, we'll post the link in the group, the 3D Trendsetters group. And Anya will also post it on her Patreon for the Patreon members for you to be able to see the replay. But yes, this will all go to the replay. Are there any other questions?
So all the replays are in the Patreon, right?
No, so they go on our YouTube, and then Anya posts hers to her Patreon for her Patreon members. If you're not a Patreon member, you would see it in the 3D Trendsetters group.
Oh, I'm a Patreon member.
Yep, so you'll get it both ways.
Okay, all right, got it.
You're welcome, Crystal. So the beads, I'll show you that. Oh, look, let me move this off the screen so y'all not seeing my history and judging me. And you can make them as well. If you look on Maker World, it's plenty of these on there. But I'll just show y'all the things that I be using. Because it's the same pieces that the people that bling the pins. It's the same thing. No difference. Oh,
Yes,
I bought them all.
when I saw that, I was like, I got so many bees like this in my room.
Mm-hmm. It's the same exact thing. You
Because I
just
got them
have
off
to.
like from Walmart, from Michael's, from Hobby Lobby. And I got these years ago.
Mm-hmm. You just got to check the holes and make your holes the same size.
Yes. Okay.
So here we go. These right here, they work. And all you do, you see the hole size is 3 mil. So the stick part on the DIY kit is 2 mil. So we know that will fit into that 3 mil hole. So yep, these work. So these are the little pieces. You can put these on the top and bottom, to make it cutesy. And then you have these that can go on them. So the balls, these can be fillers. They call them fillers. So then you can put the balls. And then two, you have a variety pack where you can buy the balls and I don't know what I want to call that piece, but here we go. You got the two different types of pieces that you can get in a variety pack.
Spacers.
Spacers and balls. Yep, that stuff. But here you go. And I'll throw this over here just so y'all can have a reference. And then from there you can navigate wherever on Amazon to find the ones. But if you click on one and then you just go down, you'll see all different types of ones that you can look at as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions before I end the live? Again, if you have anything after this, I'm in the group. Anya's in the group. We have a wonderful team that's always standing by to answer questions. So don't think that you can't you can't ask your question. We have plenty of admins and people too that are in the group that can answer your question for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Right. Right. All right. This is the end. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. We will upload these to our YouTubes and the links will be sent out for you guys to be able to view it and get to working on your homework / your digital products that you're going to be doing. Y'all have a good night. Thank you. You're welcome, Kiki, and thank you for tuning in.